have no idea how to feel. No idea how to feel right now. Mistakes were made, but mistakes weren't made either. We were all over that Jonathan Taylor call. And then all of a sudden, some guy named Deion Jackson just turns into JT overnight, catching passes, doing it all, ruining slates for us. Holy smokes. We were on that. We were on that. We were on that Chase Kamara. We were on that Minnesota game, even though they didn't score any fucking touchdowns. We were all over it. We were sniffing with it. And it's just a humbling reminder of how difficult it is to climb to the top of these leaderboards. Even when you play the best plays, it doesn't always get home. But our pain is your gain, because we are going to go through all these disgusting lineups that we built, and we're going to go a little revisionist history and see why see where we went wrong here. Boys are back. Glad to have Nez back. What is going on, gentlemen?
Hey,
Yo. Glad to be back. Was a rough slate last week. Took my second L of the year for the weekly contest, but we learned a lot, so can't complain. Knew the game. Did we though? Yeah, right. Like,
did we?
Yeah, amen to the best plays. By the way, playing the best plays, and yet you still don't have the pieces around it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to talk about that because I'll bring up my own personal ownership, and you know how I feel about cumulative ownership, but it's a nice little indication of going like, oh my God, look at these names all at the top, and how did you not win a contest or right? And it's a humbling reminder of like the perfect combination is necessary, because these rosters are so shallow, right? Like 6-player rosters, I don't think we've stated it enough how shallow that is. So how much random variance gets introduced to that. Like on DraftKings, if you're making a cash team or whatever, and you're trying to fill out like 9, 11, whatever slots, like there's just so many more decisions to be made, right? In these games where there's only 6, like there's just not enough decisions to be made to have like a huge decisive advantage unless you really pigeonhole and build around like those same core plays over and over and over again. So I think my mindset is slowly changing, where in best ball, I was very much of the mindset of we can diversify our portfolio. So much random shit's going to happen throughout the year. We don't know what it's gonna be. We can pick spots to be slightly over the field, but we can't definitively cut anyone out and that sort of thing. And that was my mindset. With these weekly contests, I'm getting more and more in the direction of the exploitative train. Well, if it's just being like, it's one isolated slate, we're playing first or last, I'm aiming to have 70% of this player, or I'm aiming to have 60% of this player. And granted, it's slate dependent all the time, and that's been one of our little buzzwords. But I don't know. Where do you guys come out on that?
Numi, go ahead and start. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning toward, if you were to like, I guess basically put my exposures up on like a game log kind of per like week, you would see I was more flat in the beginning, and I've gotten the same route as you, where I've gotten a lot more exploitative because I'm trying to, like I stated, I'm trying to get the pieces and just hit the pieces around it, and then or hit like my main core pieces, and then just try and filter around that. And I mean, I think I'd like to think I did that with my highest exposed being at near 50% for both Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase.
Wow. Yeah, you and I both. I mean, like
we
right
saw
there.
our exposures. So I mean, you see that, and it's like, again, I'm not upset about it. My process was fine, but yeah, like that's exactly what I'm going to continue to try and do. Is I think get that more exploitative strategy. I then, with that Jonathan Taylor, like you said, I didn't go and play the Deion Jackson play. You know what I mean? Yeah. I plugged it. I think I tried to do as much Kenneth Walker as you know, I plugged and played, and then it just went off that. If assuming Walker was drafted in most drafts, but yeah, I agree with you. I'm going way more.
Well, he wasn't early in the week, so which was my swap for a lot of people, right?
My Taylor, which was my thought. So I tried to go with just the top down and then filter and whatever. So I think I ended up with actually a lot of Ramondre is what I ended up with, which was fine. So I mean, if you look at everything, like I just find. The thing was, when it comes down to it, I after the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, I did not have enough Joe Burrow. I didn't have enough Joe Burrow. I didn't have that other piece beside, that Deion Jackson play that I think only the winner had. But yeah, I will agree with the more exploitative. That's what I've been trying to do. And yeah, I agree. First or last. And I was, I guess, close, but just not close enough. So what do you think, Nez?
Yeah,
I'm offended.
I had nah, come on, look at
these
that
luscious,
come on,
luscious locks. Come on, man.
Warner
You got
is
lettuce like this.
Yeah.
You don't. Come on.
You ever see like pro athletes and you're like, God, how often do they get haircuts? That's Warner for the show. I've never seen John without like a fresh buzz on the side.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think he's doing 30 minutes before showtime? He's practicing his cold open while getting the hair nice.
Speaking of which, by the way, I don't know if anybody could tell, I lost the locks. I got a haircut this weekend as well. So we're
looking
trying
good.
to, it's still a hat day.
I'm still on the homeless man grind. So we'll
Dude,
follow
I love
suit
that,
someday.
I'll be back there. However, football talk. Had Jonathan Taylor like y'all. And then my swaps, I had Kenneth Walker, and then Deion Jackson. And I wish I would have.
So you had Deion. You had Deion Jackson over Hendo.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. See, I had
but
Hendo
the thing
over
is I only
Deion.
got one of them because I don't know why I did that, dude. Because I really like that game environment, and I got stuck on it obviously to the point that I took an L this week. I think you could call that. I know you always talk about donk chalk. I feel like that was this time not like DFS donk chalk, yes, but underdog donk chalk this week. Like that game was very steamed on the underdog side as well. At least I was taking a lot of parts of that game. Sorry,
which are you referring to?
Seattle in Arizona.
Okay.
With that swap, I was like, well, I want these guys before I want Deion Jackson, right?
Right.
And that was unfortunate because I had already taken a lot of stabs on them, and then I just kind of like went all in on that and like took my L. It's fine, but I wish I would have had more Deion swaps there. And yeah, I even said I think Mark was like in agreement with me, Numi. We were doing a draft together, and you suggested Joe Burrow, and I was like, no, can't do Joe Burrow. Like, not feeling him. Like, I was okay with being a week late, and that obviously was part of burning us. But there was just a lot of highly draft. There's a lot of guys that killed teams this week. Like, and that's something that I like to talk about is like finding guys who can't kill your team, and wasn't able to identify the team killers as well as I was able to in the past. So
are you talking more so like on your exposures that like just like that made your rosters dead, or like team killers against you?
I think team killers on my team, and I think on other people's teams as well that we drafted a lot of. Like Gabe,
for me, Tyler Lockett was my biggest team killer.
Anybody
that was anyone who played. Yeah, anyone who played
Walker.
Anyone who played cash on DK, anyone who played any of that, like Tyler Lockett was steamed up chalk, and he murdered lineups. He ruined lineups.
I fell aboard I went exploitative and had no DK Metcalf and had all Tyler Lockett, specifically for Mark's shout out on Byron Murphy.
Right.
So I was like, he's like, if he's going to shut him down, I still expect him to get there. And then they did start including more Fant. But I mean, yeah.
Eskridge led receivers and targets.
Yeah, but
fucking Eskridge.
If we look at game logs before that, Lockett and Metcalf were strictly with the production was coming through. So it's just
of course, it was a completely consolidated offense, and we were like, that's why we loved that game environment.
Yeah, so
and then it turns out, and they just come, and then they come out, and it goes Noah Fant, D Eskridge game, like. Okay.
Yeah, Arizona's just so weird. They're just like so determined to play the ugliest games possible, despite throwing a shit ton. It's like it's insane. They're a complete headache.
And
did we see this?
Yeah,
I put that in the Discord early.
I did not see that. Okay, so one thing I just want to say about it, because it pertains to the Monday night, Thursday night slate, is I think this is very bad news for the health of Hollywood Brown. Because he got rolled up on at the end of that game, and he could not walk.
He's in a boot, and they're going to do tests today. So I don't know if they got tests already, and this is the move, and then they're waiting to bring out the new. Like obviously it isn't, but they made the trade, and
I'm scared.
Wow! Potential season ending
just came out literally.
So
Yeah,
that could be
that's
like Liz
wild.
Frank. That could be like high ankle. Like, any of the, like, a high ankle sprains are no joke. Like, we know that. And like any team that gets rushed back, like, it's always like, I'm not sure that, like, that's like the smartest move to bring your skill position back with a high ankle sprain. So could be one of these things, just like reading the writings on the wall. But awesome news if you have Robbie, obviously. So,
But we can't expect. I just want to make sure for that contest, Robbie will
No,
not.
won't
He's
add
not.
No.
Yeah, they can't
If
play.
he's not
yeah.
in the player, if he's not in the player pool now, they will not add him.
Okay,
but
well,
it
that's
does
good to
make
know.
it does make Rondell Moore, and it does make
He's not going to be playing
DeAndre Hopkins
on Thursday, is he?
Rondale, why wouldn't he?
No, Robbie on Thursday.
No.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. But
okay.
In general,
So I'm
he
just
might
talking.
be. Yeah, he might be.
So I'm just talking. I know he's not going to be in the player pool, but if he's on the team, and regardless how many snaps, like, you know what I mean, like, that's eating. I thought that was John was saying was eating into the production, which is valid. So I think that's just something to. I just don't think he's. How can
I would say for me it would boost. For me, this news boosts those other two individuals who are already on the Cardinals. Yeah, Rondell and
Rondell, even Ertz, because now, Ertz, Hopkins is playing, right? Yeah, Hopkins. I've been drafting Hopkins.
First week back. He's kind of low right now.
Yeah.
So
all right, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, we're good. This is freestyling, baby. We're just flying by the seat of our pants.
Monday, man.
Yeah, breaking news. Come on, we gotta hit it. There's a couple of things I want to hit on. I want to look at like the winner of the contest. Again, nobody took us up on the winner circle. Kind of a random screen name I'd never seen before. Kind of unfortunate. We need a friend of the show to ship one of these. We need one of us.
I know, man.
Debut the winner circle here
for show.
But hey, Silas is doing his write up right now. You can find that on Spike Week. Good shout to Silas's mandatory read prior to playing these contests. After watching us, second place,
Did you guys get any of that massive overlay that was on the Sunday night contest?
Yeah, I mixed in a couple in the afternoon there. Yeah, I got like 20 in. I was doing like 5 at a time and just uploaded projections basically.
Yeah.
Let me see where I'm trying to go here. I'm going to bring up my screen here and take a look at the winner from the 50K shot this weekend, and then take a look at some other little trend stuff. Chad sent us some more great data. Appreciate him. Shout out again. All the good data we've been getting. But let's see results. Yeah, as you can see, I made $3 this weekend. $3 profit, right, Nez?
Yeah, that's a clap.
Yeah, I didn't play nearly as much volume as I normally did this weekend. I actually played a shit ton of DraftKings and primarily single entries and stuff like that, just because I saw so many ownership spots I wanted to take advantage of. And pat on the back, me, it was primarily Bengals, so I was all over that.
Good call.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird how you can build on DK versus how you can build in these contests, and you can get really like, if I find a spot, I can get like super exploitative with it and just be like, that's what I like this week.
Shout out one time to second place, putting his Gmail as his username. That was hilarious.
No chance.
No, third. Oh, he's tied for second. So we can email this dude. We can shoot this dude an email.
Goodwin@gmail.com. Let's go.
God. For inquiries.
What a legend.
He probably regged like this week. He's like, man, I need if I win, I need the Badge Bros to know where to find me. This is me.
Okay, over under on James D. Goodwin. I imagine that's what his name is. James D. Good. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, over under on his age with signing up with this email.
You want me to set the line? I'm gonna go over under 50. I'm gonna go over 50.
Over 50.
No, I'll 40. 40 is a good line. We'll do 40 and I'll go
40. 40 is going to be up to 50 by the weekend. I'm telling you, all the money's coming in on the over on 40.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll go over on 40.
We'll go
48 and a half. 48 and a half.
This guy is at least 56 years old. He was signing up. He signed up. He signed up this weekend, and he like saw like username and email, and he just typed the same shit twice. He was just like, yeah. He was like, copy. He's like, what, a username? I don't need a username. I have an email address. What are you doing here?
That's how I remember. Yeah.
And 2 running backs. He's got to be older.
Oh, 2 running backs. Oh my God. I love it so much. Yeah. 65.
There we go. So we got to reach out to James, man.
That was a great show. Yo, we should just email him right now while we're on stream. Just
Yeah.
Yo, what's good, man? Saw you on 15K in the battle royale.
Was that duped with someone else, or like was it completely duped, or is it just
okay?
tied?
Let's do that after. Let's
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it was duped or if they just got the same score. Yeah. So just looking at this lineup is it kind of breaks my heart because I basically had this exact same lineup, but with JT, and then get to the wrong swap, right? So it's kind of unfortunate that we were so dialed on the plays this week, and we kept talking about how we loved. I said on one of the previous shows, I was like, I cannot pass on Jamar Chase in the second round this week. I cannot. Sure. Like with the Higgins injury news, with the spot that Lattimore might not play, like it just.
The Louisiana narrative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He shows up. Yeah,
bro. He showed up to the game in Jamar Chase's LSU jersey. I mean, it could not have been more obvious he was gonna smash. Come on.
Honestly, he was the 101 at that point. He was the 101.
Straight up. Straight up.
Everyone needed to pivot. Yeah. If you weren't pivoting, you're a fish.
100%.
That's funny. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So like. I don't know that there's much to say about this team other than the fact that damn near anyone could have drafted it, and I'm so surprised it wasn't duped. I guess it just shows you the value of a one-off piece, right? Like because Deion Jackson, and this is per the only sample that we have is Chad's drafts, and he sent me the Excel, and per his information, he saw Deion Jackson drafted 3% out of his 80 whatever, so that would be one time he saw him get drafted. Now, I think once swaps and stuff were factored in, he probably was a little bit higher than that, but it just shows you the power of what is this lineup? This lineup is a mini stack from a game that we liked in Burrow and Chase. It's no run back. It's Andrews, who was the best play in quotations on the slate that we kept saying from that first round. We loved Andrews get that premium tight end. It was Tyreek, who we said he can break the slate. He can break the slate. We don't care who the quarterback is. He's going in the third round sometimes. This is crazy. And then it was Ramondre, who just got steamed the hell up in every contest format everywhere.
His rise was insane in these 6-mans. Like he was going from like 5th round to like early 3rd, like in a flash. Like it happened so fast.
Nez, it's funny you bring that point up because allow me to dive into our ADP data.
Please. Screw this
little
stuff. Let's get some hard data. Yeah, maybe one more. Can you get one more X?
One more X? Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, so Tuesday, he started at 28.5. By Wednesday, 18.5. Thursday, 19. And then Friday, he was 16.7. By Sunday, he was 14.3.
Wow. That is
so
insane.
Over the course of the week, he rose 14.2 spots. So,
over 2 rounds.
Yeah. And the interesting part about that is, and shout out again to Chad for this data. This is something that we can all be doing. Download the CSV every single day before you draft. Just download it, download the ADP, and then just leave it on your computer, label it as Tuesday, and then just keep dumping them in a folder, and we can consolidate it all at the end of the week, right? And we can look at this. But like we're talking about a player who was he's added in his counts, so it's small sample, it's only his data, or only his drafts rather. But like he's seeing him 67% of the time drafted, then it's 100, 100, 100. Like, you know what I mean? So he basically, Ramondre was what we wanted JT to be this week.
And then would that imply then we would want to get him earlier in the week, and then once we see him rising, we need to back off? Like in a sense,
think you need to back off.
True. Yeah, I think conventional logic would suggest that. Like our best ball brains would suggest that.
Exactly. That's why I bring it up.
But the way in which you build with him early is different than the way in which you build with him late. So you can get different combos, dare I say, unique combinatorial ownership with Ramondre. If like, I don't know if you guys know, there's a new screen name who's been in the hockey streets, Uda Gretter or something like that. Uda Gretzi, something like this, right? And he was a badgeless dude. Then all of a sudden he had the 1 badge. Then all of a sudden he had the 2 badge in like a week stretch, like, you know, like kind of like your boy did in baseball. And it was like, oh shit, should we start paying attention? And he's doing this shit that's like hyper exploitative. And he took Ramondre in the first round at the 101 like 4 times on Sunday morning. And I don't know if he just loads ranks and then auto drafts and whatever, but in hockey, he was doing the same thing on like opening night. He puts in like Matt Murray. Matt Murray was going in like the 3rd round in some of those drafts, and he was taking him 101 no matter what. And then he was passing on like McDavid and McKinnon and all these guys. And he was just like, oh yeah, I'll take Evander Kane in the 2nd, and I'll take Cole Caulfield in the 3rd. And then Cole Caulfield had like 2 or 3 goals in that game and broke the slate. And I was like, holy shit, who is this guy? Right? Like just, yeah. So then when he started doing it, I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's
seems like a heater. I will say that sounds like an unreal heater. And like we see this in our other slates too. If you're a baseball guy or even a football guy, you'll see our friend T-Box, for example.
T-Box, yeah, that's the perfect comp.
Dude loves to call his shot, and I like admire the hell out of it. But he just like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like if he's in your draft, you will see him draft like the same dudes every.
You're talking T-Box?
Correct.
Yeah, he's in all the golf streets, and he does the same thing. And when was it? It might have been just Sunday. So you don't see him on any of the leaderboards at all. Like I literally checked nothing, and then he took 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then 13th, 14th, 15th, 17th. Like he's just all up there. It's just
incredible.
Wow.
But that's what makes it a viable strat, right? You're playing for first, and we're talking about it right now, how we want to get more exploitative in these contests. And he's been getting exploitative since day one, right? So
yeah, he doesn't just want first, he wants the entire goddamn prize pool. He's like, there's shooting the moon, and then there's like shooting the solar system, right? Like
if he's doing it within bounds of his bankroll, obviously he's continuing to be in all of these contests, so we'll know one day if these guys are just gone, and it's like, oh, did they just you know what I mean? Did they just poof? Did they just get, so I guess, but I guess we've only seen them we've been doing this, not even a full year, I guess
6 months or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so but exactly, they're doing it in the other sports. There's no reason to do it here, which is exactly what we're getting on. So
no, yeah, it's interesting because it's a way more volatile strat. It introduces way more variance, but that's kind of what we've been talking about in these contests is we want first or last. We want 0 or 1 outcomes. We don't necessarily have to build 0-1 teams over and over again, but maybe we do. I don't know. Like it's very volatile, but if you're right, you're right. And you see what happens when he's right. He ships 1st through 13 in a golf contest or whatever.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, big shouts on the spreadsheet from the spreadsheet version himself,
from the crown.
Yeah.
What up, Mike?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what to say about this roster other than like everyone could have had it, but then Deion Jackson. And there's something so beautiful about this in like, hey, even if you just build one lineup on this weekend, you spend $5, you can have a chance to win this contest, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's very different than DraftKings. I think it's very different than, other styles of contest where it's like you genuinely have the ability, if you sit down, you sift through all the ADP, you construct in your mind what you think the optimal team based on the ADP data would be, and you just draft one bullet, you could turn out like this. And it's like a very sound, sharp team, in my opinion. And then the Deion Jackson one-off turns into last week's Josh Jacobs, which was the week before that's Mac Hollins, which was the week before that's Breece Hall or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Where that's the piece you need as the low-owned percentage play. Anything else to add, boys?
No, I love that it's not a swap.
Yeah,
he took
Silas
him
asked
on probably on Sunday.
Yeah, good point.
Okay.
Great point.
And then
Silas.
that's what Silas was wondering. Do we think he made that one on Sunday? Which
yeah,
I would think so.
Yeah,
I think it's Sunday because I would say he went Andrews in the first, right? Chase comes back, and then he either takes Ramondre or Tyreek. Depending on the room, I saw them kind of interchangeable. Ramondre's ADP was higher, so imagine he takes Ramondre there, and he has this kind of like one wide receiver, one tight end, one running back start. Then Tyreek comes there. I imagine he was drafting from the 104, 105, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Doesn't it show his pick number or no? Does it not do that?
No.
It doesn't do that. Okay.
No. Yeah, and then he takes Burrow in the 5th as the mini stack, and quarterback's about to thin out, and then Deion Jackson as his last round one-off that was basically going undrafted.
Yeah, and no bring back, which would have killed it if he would have added in Kamara there. And
that's what killed me.
Right? Yeah, like with these run backs, man. It's a gift and a curse. You know the game.
What's I hate that I can't see my
It's
exposures
on mobile
right now.
that it shows the pick number.
Oh wow!
Oh, does it really now? That's a new additive. So what was the pick number?
He went Mark Andrews pick 2, Ramondre pick 11. So what did he go?
Wow.
So then he went Mark Andrews pick 2, Ramondre pick 11, Jamar Chase 14, Tyreek 23. Joe Burrow 26, and then Deion Jackson 35.
That's really cool. I'm just not saying we can do that.
A bring back is a pick from that same game environment, but on the other team. So in the case of the Bengals one, it would be like Kamara on the other side or Taysom Hill on the other side. That's the bring back.
Educating some people today. I like it. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions, Patrick? Just shoot them. We got you, man.
Yeah,
let's. We're confusing you.
I actually had a chance in. Was it this one? No, I didn't have a chance in this one.
I saw you in first in one of these small 12-person.
I was in first.
The fullback dive, wasn't it?
Of the fullback dive for a bit there, and then I had a very good chance at that one. One thing I'll just say, and I think we've touched on in the past, is these 12-man drafts, they do open up a greater edge for the Hardo user, because exactly what we say in those small field 6-mans is that you just keep drafting the same guys over and over again and that sort of jam. Where in these 12-mans, you can get a little crazier. You can open up your player pool a little bit more. And that obviously, the deeper the player pool, the more, it incentivizes the knowledgeble, right?
Exactly. That's why I was such an advocate for these, especially I was really pumped that we got our first like $5 12 team drafts this week with the triple entry, which is cool. I didn't cash any of them. I'm trying to tell people like you can really build your bankrolls in these if you know what you're doing, and like absolutely brick.
If you know what you're doing, that was the keyword phrase there.
Yeah, yeah. If you're staying off the stupid ass Cardinals and Seahawks game, like you're gonna be in great shape.
Yeah.
Had some Mariota. That was fun. Yeah. That was it. That was my coolest call. Was throwing Mariota.
He was popping in the projections, and then like Alex Baker's the king of DFS for a fucking reason, because he comes out on the contrary pod and just goes Colts and Falcons. Okay, I guess. Right. And then they both smash. I was like, oh my God.
The Colts are just, I don't know if it's more so like the Jags are like who's more frustrating here? Like the Jags or the Colts? Because the Jags have so much money invested into this defense. And then the Colts come out here without Jonathan Taylor, with Matt Ryan, who's looked abysmal, and 58 I think it's 58 pass attempts for Matt Ryan this week, like unbelievable. Like, and the Colts just you just are never gonna know like what you're gonna get from them. Like they could be Patrick Mahomes one week, or they could tie week 1. Who knows?
That is so true. That is, you never know what you're going to get with the Colts. And with no Jonathan Taylor, too.
Yeah. I was surprised that Jaguars were as chalk as they were on DFS for defense. And they obviously didn't do shit. I think they put up like a -1 spot.
Yeah, shout out to Underdog for doing this and experimenting with their contest structures again, right? Like they know they can fill an 1,100 person $5 contest on Sunday morning, 40 minutes before lock, and they just fucking do it, right? Like it's so legit.
Yeah.
Something that
that's pretty sick.
Oh no, something that I think just in to talk like touch on your like the contest point is I think like you talked about how the 6-player pools, it's like it's so thin basically. Like you have all these players up top. I think expanding it, even trying like an 8, like do the same thing with they did a small person, but doing like an 8-person draft. You know what I mean? Or not, or not an 8-person draft, but an 8-person roster type. Say, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, or it's a deeper roster. Maybe you have to start 2 running back, like have to start running back, and you do a flex, or they just make it all flex. You know what I mean? Or they add in a super flex, or they do anything like that. I think to your point earlier, where you talked about only needing to draft 6 players, and it's like. You go, so I think it would just make that so much like interesting. So you have, I mean, you have your Bang BR. I mean, even that, like, I keep thinking like adding extra roster spots is something that would be very interesting too.
Yeah, I really want that.
Yeah, along with the, you know, your contest different, you know, variables and all that. So yeah, I really, yeah, I'll say that. I'll preach it to the rooftops. I've been talking about that before. I think adding or expanding your roster size will be. Really
fun.
I
mean, it does so many things, especially on these like 11, 12, 13 game slates, is it eliminates dupes basically on its own, right? It eliminates people's ability to collude because you really can't build quote unquote super teams that matter. You know what I mean? Like the deeper the roster is, and it just makes you go like so much deeper in the player pool so that like the heavy volume players actually now have a greater, more decisive edge and less like random variance in there. I think it's really good for the ecosystem and like the community of keeping these games alive a long time, because the people that pay the rake on these sites are us. You know, they're not the new acquisition users. They're not the new, you know, guy deposits $100, he plays for 2 weeks and then he's gone forever. And you really have to cater the ecosystem to the hardo players, in my opinion, right? And that's what incentivized me to play. Like, look at my numbers I put up this week versus like here. You can just look. There was no $100 contest this week, and I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. And I happened to be drafting on Sunday morning, and I caught the blitz and I caught the fullback dive, but I just like I wasn't really feeling it that much. Like, look at just the difference from a week ago, right? Like, you know, 54 of these, 10 of these, 4 of the hundreds. Like, you're instantly losing out on my rake, you know, just 69 drafts versus 45, right? And like, I'm not even putting in the volume that I could or should be putting in, right? It's interesting.
Yeah,
like,
I'm excited to see what they do this week because they had to fill Big Dog returns and the
good point.
Resurrection.
Good point.
And NBA's finalizing.
They did touch on that in the Discord, which was they will be back or expect them to be back this week. It was specifically to help fill the contest. So
yeah, that's fair then. So when you're looking at the tight as the site as a whole, that kind of makes more sense now.
Yeah. And then Paul touches on to your point when he's talking about you know, seeing less dupes at the top of these contests. He's like, have we even really seen like dupes in these top BRs?
Not really, to be honest. Like, we see a lot of like 5v5s and then the 6 pieces like different, but I imagine we'll see a lot of dupes in like the middle. Like, if we scroll down to the leaderboard and you scroll down to like 10th place, I bet you 10th place is duped like 10 times. And then, and then that brings up Numi's point of second place was this one, the score that we were going to go back to. Is it a full-fledged dupe? And it was a full-fledged dupe.
Good team. Yeah. Brees Hall, we've been pounding that drum for a minute, and looks good.
Yeah, I mean, that Diggs Andrews start was pretty rare. Like, that's pretty nice.
That is rare. That. Yeah.
I imagine
that had to be an early week draft.
I imagine they were drafted early in the week, right?
It could be Sunday morning, because those Sunday morning drafts, I sent you guys a couple of them, and like that's when I got the Cup and Jefferson, and that's when I got the Jefferson. I got a Jefferson, Kelsey, and then Lamar Jackson too as well. So like they were. Wow. I know no one cares about my teams.
Nobody cares about teams.
But you know,
but that's a good point, because I want to talk. Let's talk about that at a bigger level, because we talk about this is something like from I'm gonna say it. Porting poker knowledge over to this is the best, richest poker players I know in my lifetime, they were not the best players, right? Like there are guys that were playing, $500 games that were better than guys that I would see playing $5,000 games, right? And it's because these other individuals made more money, even though their win rates may not be as good or their fundamentals not as good, because they put themselves in better situations and environments to win more money. So they would play Friday night in the Aria where guys are boozing it up and doing something like that, right? Whereas these other kids were grinding the hardest $500 games on the internet on PokerStars, right? And
Yep.
and this speaks to the Sunday morning thing where it's like we want to be there ready waiting in these lobbies when the recreationals come. And when do the recreationals come? Well, they come Friday night. They come
Yes.
Saturday night.
Yep.
They come Sunday morning. They come while another game is on, while Thursday night football is on. Now they're drafting Sunday while they're watching the game. That's when the recreationals flood these player pools. And that's a decisive advantage to be in those rooms. And that's how you were building such amazing teams by our projections. Now, it didn't come to fruition, but the EV you gained by building those teams was nothing to, scuff at, right?
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. No, and I think that's there's it's kind of like the barbell, except with these dailies. That's what you're getting the same thing coming in August with these so or quote unquote recreationals. They're getting ready for their home leagues. They're going to start doing some best balls. They're seeing Underdog, so you're going to start getting those. It's the same thing, same concept basically.
Yeah,
porting
100%.
from best ball into
down
these
straight, porting that knowledge.
So, despite the downturn in my 12-man teams, I am still like a full advocate for the 12-team drafts. I still, especially this week, I'm really excited for the first drafts to drop to see like what this past week's variance has done, plus mixing in the bye weeks has done to the player pool. Like these, I think we're going to see ADP very murky for the first couple days.
And that's and that's too, if anyone hasn't been in the drafts as soon as they drop, which basically is when the final contest of the Monday night game, what if they do another contest after this, if this one doesn't fill or whenever this one locks, there'll be kind of like a grace period, and then we'll get those contests, and there will not be ADP until normally like 1% of the contest is full. So you'll be in there. So setting the ADP, and you can get some pretty unique teams. That's when I would be the advocate to try and get your, if like, just think in terms of last slate. If you have your Patrick Mahomes, I don't know who's on the slate, but if you have your Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, try and get that stack with maybe someone else that's going to be up there. That's like, whoa, how did you get that? Like stuff like try and attack and get very, like exploitative, but just especially like just try and get very exploitative with these early drafts. You don't have to get wacko. You can do that when the ADP starts to set and later in the week. And then on.
No, I really like that shout.
Nice.
I really like that as like just a barbell approach to these, is where it's like early in the week you try and build, kind of those week over week super teams, right? Where it's like just isolate who won't be available, right? In general, very, very low scoring slate. Like just from a raw points standpoint, very, and I think a lot of that stemmed from lack of touchdowns. If we got touchdowns from, Hill and Jefferson and that game environment, I think it might have broke the slate, because that's where the most concentrated amount of like volume was coming from. But I don't know. Just from like a macro thought, I don't know what the takeaway is there, but just a very low scoring slate in general.
Seeing the cutoff in the 80s is like not normal.
Right. Yeah. Like 84 in like the 12-man here. And what was it in? It was 95 in the 50K. It just, that's crazy, because we've seen this total push like 190 in the past, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk tonight's contest. I did a couple this morning. Have you guys done a couple already?
Yeah,
a literal couple. I got two down. Okay.
And that brings us into the comment that Michael brings up here, basically, about this the contest. Do you think we're basically burying the lead? How much Hopkins are we trying to hammer for before tonight.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I think he just kind of like straight up replaces AJ Green and he with this Marquise Brown news. I think we should be hammering him. But the thing is, this isn't the DeAndre Hopkins that we once knew and loved, right? Like this isn't the player who was breaking slates in 2018, 2019, right? Even last year, like he had a couple big games, but like he wasn't that dude anymore. Now they're very thin at wide receiver, but if we picture a scenario where he comes back and it's his first game off the suspension and he gets one-on-one with Lattimore, I'm not sure I love that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. We don't know what we're gonna see from him, but I do
Mhm.
think that his type of game never really relied on like a ton of speed to begin with.
That's fair.
So, but the Cardinals are just really frustrating. But I am gonna be very much trying to get a lot of Hopkins, of course. But the room, I think we got to give the room some more credit than what we are right now. Yeah, there's no ADP, but like a lot of these people know that it's a two game slate. Like a lot of people are aware that DeAndre Hopkins is coming back. So at least in the 2 drafts that I've done, he was not like falling very far. But if you're excited to play Hopkins on his first week back, like, and you think that that's a value, like go ahead. But I think to me the bigger value is one like Rondale Moore is way low. As we talked about, Hollywood out. Robbie is like a question mark if he plays, and if he does play, he's probably playing like 14 snaps, just running like straight go routes, like not doing much on a short week like this. And another one I really like is Chris Olave, who's expected to play.
Yeah.
And I've seen more like down news on Michael Thomas. So Olave to me is very intriguing, and he's down third wideout off the board, so nothing crazy, but just really like him if he's active this week.
Yeah, and something interesting is he still doesn't even have a injury designation. Before 23 minutes ago, when they have now the red dot on Hollywood saying he has suffered a potential season-ending injury, they had nothing. They just said that he
I was drafting
in a
him
walking boot. People were drafting him a lot. Like he was being drafted in every single draft. So that's just something that's the point out.
Yeah.
And we are. And that happened about 23 minutes ago, and we're about over 50% full that contest. 50% of the people were drafting Hollywood all the time.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, 50% of that contest was full. Hollywood was going probably in every draft, unless.
Yeah, no, he was definitely going every draft. Yeah. One thing about DeAndre Hopkins, just to my point there, is his last 100-yard game was in week 14 of 2020. Like, I know he has all the name value in the world, but he hasn't played football since week 10, I think it was. He hasn't played football since week 9. Oh, he came back for 13 and 14 of 21. My bad. So he came back for those last 2 weeks, but he had no 100-yard game in all of last year, right? So I know the name value's there, and I know he might just be thrust right into a WR1 role now and play the X there. But in the very first game back versus Marshawn Lattimore, I'm not sure I'm pounding the table to be like, gimme Hopkins. Now, obviously, he's going to be in our player pool. I'm going to utilize him as run back. I'm going to utilize him in stacks with Kyler, all that sort of stuff. But I don't think I can sit here and be like, I'm endorsing playing Hopkins as like my number one target on this slate, right?
Yeah, and this is an interesting matchup too, because that is a good
Hopkins
take,
is the wide receiver version of Kittle. It's a good take.
Now. Yeah, frustrating, but ceiling is probably like still there.
He still has that 30-point ceiling if he gets 80 and 3 scores, right?
Yeah. So Ant in the chat just dropped the nugget that Lattimore is likely not back on Thursday. So that's interesting. And it seems like these projections really like targeting whoever's playing the Saints these last few weeks. Like projections really like Seahawks against the Saints. And so
you're talking about the underdog projections.
The blitz specifically.
Oh, okay.
Was really into like opponents of New Orleans, which I was like interesting because I feel like I have a good like public brain, and I'm like I'm not like trying to like play many people against the Saints. So we'll see what they're thinking about this matchup with the Cardinals, because the Cardinals to me are just such a frustrating, inefficient team. Could this be like a good matchup for them where it's actually like high scoring? I'm not quite sure what makes these Cardinals games so ugly. Is their defense low key good? Like, is Cliff Kingsbury a joke? We know the answer to that. So to me, there's like a lot of variables here. Like there's a lot of variance into like what we can expect to see from this Saints Cardinals game. I'm not sure if you guys have an expectation of what you expect to see, but me, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it.
I want to put it on everyone's radar that the new Call of Duty comes out soon. And Kyler might be tempted. He's not going to be in the film room. He's going to be gaming out that double XP weekend. He's going to be like all these memes going around about Kyler being like a gamer bro and being like, I think he's like 2-40 or something on double XP weekends and stuff like this. Now it's actually insane. It's wild that's
dude's
like
going to hit like 2 prestiges by the time he gets to game day. Like, who the hell are we playing?
Prestige in the new COD. That's so good.
Is that even a thing still? I don't know.
I don't know. Back in Modern Warfare 2, when I jammed out, that was the prestige was a thing, right?
Oh yeah, you prestige.
There you go. Willis is on it. It was double
prestige.
XP. Double XP weekend this past weekend.
Oh,
yeah, but they only scored 9 points, no touchdowns.
New one doesn't drop for 11 days, so we're good. He's 11 days. He can get through this game, hopefully, like next, and then next.
No. Numi, that's the level 1 take. That's level 1 take. Yeah, he's behind the closed doors. They give him the beta version.
Yeah, dude, he gets early access. Come on.
Early access.
You know what? The beta versions are crap. No one. If he's playing the
Kyler
beta,
doesn't
he's
think
really
that.
a hardo.
Oh, Kyler doesn't think that. Kyler loves the beta version.
You don't think Kyler's got a plug at his local Target? Like,
well, yeah, he's part of FaZe Clan, so he's probably
take off the bar, the security, and like, here you go, fam.
Kyler walks up. Yeah, give me that copy. He's like, I don't think we can do that. It's like, I think you can. He's like, okay.
Scoots out.
Yeah. Wow. Marquise just went from D to out designation there too. He had the doubtful tag when we started. Yeah,
good job, Underdog.
The stream.
Props.
Yeah, they're on it, man. Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about a couple names.
Sure.
I want to talk about this name, Taysom Hill, and I want to talk about the running back position of 1, 2. And where's 3 and Mike Boone. I want to talk about Taysom Hill first. We're talking about a guy who I want to say that his usage this past weekend was more encouraging than his usage the previous weekend was, and he became steamed to like a tight end 4 in the Battle Royale drafts this weekend, and it was all based on the fact that he scored 3 touchdowns the previous weekend. But then this weekend, in week 6, he actually had what I would deem a better usage. And now he's going almost undrafted or subtly mixed in a fucking 3-man 2-game contest.
Yep.
What makes you think that the usage was better this week than last week? I'm curious.
Because I think the thesis on Taysom was always that he would throw the ball. And he threw the ball 4 times this game. And I think like him getting actual quarterback snaps alongside that small rushing floor of 3 to 8 carries. And we saw that this weekend, right?
Yeah, I feel like this is just like what he, I mean, this is the Taysom Hill variance. Like he needs touchdowns and like Taysom Hill down game. End of the day, like if we're dealing with a slate like last week where it's like Kelsey, Andrews, the field, like Taysom Hill, I would still advocate was a good pick because like based on like what the next best tight end did after that, I think it was like let's say Dawson Knox, for instance, like he got home, scored like 7 more points than Taysom Hill, like not a big deal. Like and the fact that
3
Taysom Hill
catches and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, and then Taysom Hill still has a ceiling that Knox can't ever sniff. So I think you got it. Like you can't be like, and we're not here to like. I'm glad that we're not, but like so result oriented. But I just saw a draft. Like anecdotally, I've only done 2 of these. Taysom Hill was like the last tight end off the board.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. He doesn't get drafted.
Like,
yeah. Because if we're gonna look at this slate, like if we look at the tight end position, Now the Taysom narrative, we can get into the weeds on it.
It's
It could be
decent for
very
a 3-man
different.
draft. Yeah.
It could get very different this week with Taysom. Actually, Taysom's projection has now jumped Juwan Johnson. It was below Juwan Johnson this morning.
You should
which will
refresh
be-
your screen here for a second.
Okay,
Just give me a favor.
Yep.
Let's see if this is only happening on my end. Nah, see these little they changed the little font thing, and it was making me crazy. I'm like, is this just me? But no, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, the little bars are now a little set.
Yeah. Okay,
Squares.
so if we're looking at the tight end position, and the narrative for Taysom is different this week because the thesis on Taysom was Andy Dalton, it was Olave being out, Michael Thomas being out, and Landry being out. We might get Olave back. We might get Michael Thomas back, ? I haven't seen him get drafted once in these drafts yet. Might be something of note, little nugget there. Maybe mix him in a little bit. If you don't get him, you get a little swap anyways. I mean, it won't be pretty. It'll turn into Marquez Callaway or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Traquan Smith. But we saw Traquan Smith play a little ball this weekend. Anyways,
I don't think Thomas is expected to play. I see a bunch of reports, even from Underdog, saying that Michael Thomas is not expected to play. So
okay, there you go. So he has the D tag, no swap. Okay, so he's off our player pool there. But point being, who on this slate could break this slate wide open at the tight end position?
Yep,
right.
Taysom Hill. Yeah, I'll answer your question because I know what you want. It's Taysom Hill.
Right. That's how I see it. I mean, like Ertz without Marquise and his 10 targets every week, and Ertz as a stack with Kyler makes a lot of sense to me. But like, if I'm looking at just this 2-game slate, who's going to break this slate? I'm seeing a lot of fucking Taysom Hill. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree with these mean. Like, if you were to rank these as far as like mean projections go, like I'm fine with this ranking as far as mean projections. But like ceiling goes, like Taysom Hill can like lap these guys twice.
Yeah,
like it's not out of the question.
And it's funny. I'll just say it's funny because if you do our favorite bully tight end and you do get 2 tight ends here, I like some Gerald Everett, and I've been doing a bunch of Gerald Everett and Taysom Hill, and it's you box people out so hard. It seems like,
oh, you bully.
Yes, I know.
You dirty dog.
To speak right to you, I know.
I like that though, dude. I really do.
It's to me, it's not really. It's kind of like if I get Gerald Everett and then I wait on Taysom Hill and I do whatever. Like Taysom Hill's been there a lot at the end. It's kind of like I'm just adding up who's there and basically the upside and the ceiling factor. And Taysom Hill has just as good a ceiling back there, if not the best, in those later rounds. So
you're either like taking a flex running back or like a pass catcher from like a team that's like, like these are like this is actually a good tight end slate. I'm not gonna lie, these are like a nice pickings to choose from. But there's if we want to kind of get
they're different archetypes because volume or Zach Ertz gets you there on volume,
right?
And Gerald Everett will get you there with hopefully a little bit of it's spread it around, but get that touchdown.
Like efficiency.
And then Taysom Hill gets
30-yard seam route.
And then Taysom Hill gets you being Taysom Hill and getting there with the touchdowns and being all the trick plays. So they're great in all their but they're just totally different archetypes. So do
we have time to maybe like call like a shot down the board? Because there's some deep plays here that I'm interested in. For me, it's I'm a big Mike Boone guy. Always going to be a Mike Boone guy. Melvin Gordon's banged up, but he's going to play. But I think that kind of, there's it's not like inconceivable that like, maybe they want to give Boone a little bit more work because they want to keep Melvin healthy because they have nobody else. And then also down the board, I'm into Josh Kelly, man. I think he's going to be pretty unique, and he's been getting a lot more usage, like as it's come up, like and Sony Michel has been like almost like completely, from what I saw, like almost like phased out completely. And Eckler's been on fire, so no one's really like looking like Kelly's way. But
to your point there, Sony Michel played 2 snaps last week, 3% of snaps, and this Kelly number. Yeah, it's been kind of consistent, but he played 25 last week.
Yeah. Finally got a little bit more volume.
But the point being that this backfield split is not as dominant on the Eckler side as we would have hoped or thought. Like, you draft Austin Eckler and his volume comes through the pass attack, and he's not your prototypical like 15 to 20 carry guy, but you would expect more than 59% of snaps from a guy like Austin Eckler. And the fact that, Kelly's getting mixed in at all like that, it just proves your point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's like my deep little call. If you want to go like 0 RB or maybe like flex him, I don't know, but I think Kelly's worth a click because I think he's going to be really lowly drafted.
I agree. Yeah, it's tough, and I agree with that because like once with it being a 3-man draft, I mean, if Eckler and Kamara go to separate teams, a lot of times those guys are waiting. And then you're sitting there with like a James Conner, Melvin Gordon, Mike Boone, all those guys ahead of him. It's like most people are going to go to that James Conner. And then if he's out, then you get the Eno swap because he's not playing. He's not getting drafted at all.
So like I've seen him go once or twice, but yeah.
Okay. I've been trying to pay attention basically. If I do get James Conner, which I have a couple, then I try and see if I get that Eno. Otherwise I'll just play the whatever's in there. But I like that Josh Kelly, so I don't think a lot of people are going to go past. Which, I do. It's tough for me to go like James Conner and Melvin Gordon have good enough, floors. They have those nice floors you like to think, even though they have Boone eating into it. But yeah, I like that James Kelly call or a Josh Kelly call. My bad.
I want to talk just like a thought that I had this morning with these two gamers. Should we be gravitating toward, and now I think it's game dependent. In the ugly, low-scoring game environments, we're probably looking for more safer mean projection floors. I think tonight's game has the potential to be a little more high upside than that. I think almost all the pass catchers could find a path to breaking the slate if the game goes in the direction of shootout. But we can also paint, divisional game, like, you paint all these narratives of divisional game, 45.5 total, like this, where maybe it doesn't push that. And we've seen, so many of these showdown slates get so ugly. Long way of asking, do you think we should be prioritizing 2 running back builds in 2-game slates versus in these, larger 11-game contests that we're playing? We've talked about how both are viable, but we've also said we kind of prefer the multiple wide receiver route. Do you think there's merit in the thinking that on 2-game slates, we can just be hammering those mean projections of running back?
I like the thought. I do like the thought, but I think it's really just going to depend on the teams that are playing. Truly, I mean, I know it's a cop out, but I've only done 2 so far, and I've gone 0 running back on both of them. So one of them I have Josh Kelly, and another one I've got Mike Boone. I will be drafting more, and I don't know, but like to me, this doesn't seem like outside of Eckler, like a super strong running back slate. So I don't know that I would necessarily like to do it here, but it is like something to consider. If you go like if you're able to get like a weird like Eckler Kamara start, that's probably
yet to see it. I think it's impossible right now.
I got
it's
it.
Gonna happen.
Once,
you got it once.
I don't know how.
Yeah. Fucking lockbox.
Yeah, I know no one cares about my teams, but
I care about that team because now I'm offended.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Yeah. I got a good. I don't know how that. Yeah, the whole team, the low lobby was going weird. They just decided to draft quarterbacks. So, but no, I think I'll touch on that. Like, I think like this is the first. If someone can correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can too. I don't think we've had a 3-person draft like this before, right? They've all 4-person, and I don't know
with quarterback we haven't had 3 with quarterback.
I don't know if this has to do with the basically any collusion or the swap. Like too many people coming with swaps and not, and they're just being too like week after week, like issues with that. But I think this puts a wrinkle into it to where, I mean, I'll just lay out what I see a lot. A lot of times it's an Eckler, Kamara, separate teams, and you're sitting there with, yes, the underdog projection, but other projections I use, ceiling, just, drafting teams. Like, I'm okay with getting, I guess, the firepower. I like to consider it at wideout, even though it's really not. It's just, there's a big drop off. Like after these, like I know there's a drop off at running backs, but you still have James Conner, Gordon. I mean, if Gordon is truly questionable and out, you still have Boone, and then even Murray becomes into play later. So I think it's and Silas brings up the great point, which I was saying is if you go Connor, like I like going that a lot because you still get the Eno swap. So
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get taken, you get it the majority of the time. Yeah.
And then so have to hopefully that doesn't get taken. But yeah, I think I'll cop out and be like, now that it's basically this contest dependent where it's 3 instead of 4, it makes it so it's an interesting. Do you with having one less team, do you go like do you just even go more mean projection, or do you try and get like shoot for that ceiling? And to me, it's like I've been gravitating towards still like going to running back, honestly, because I like what that presents with getting those points, because these other wide receivers you see, they're like, I don't know who's going to get there now with all these guys becoming out, Hopkins coming back, Russ is cooking up like this bullshit. Like I don't want to be like, what is Russ going to give us? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I think that was more my point with this slate specifically, and why I posed the question was I'm gravitating toward, though I haven't drafted it a ton yet because a lot of the wide receivers were falling to me, but I think I'm gravitating towards 2 running back being more closer to optimal on this given slate, because I do see this happen a lot from like the 2-3 turn. Like, let's just run a draft board. I see this, then I see this, then I see this at the 2-3, then I see this. And then it kind of is like, okay, now what? And then the guy usually goes, I'll take Kyler so I don't take, I'm not the guy stuck with Russ and that sort of thing. So I'm seeing a lot of the same. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of the same builds like this kind of like over and over. And the draft board just basically runs out. I mean, I think these like Herbert and Kamara are kind of interchangeable right now. But I think basically what I'm seeing is Eckler, then Herbert or Kamara, then Mike Williams gets paired with whoever took Eckler, unless Kamara and Eckler go together. And then Sutton is taken preemptively, implying that the other player will take Kyler, and then you can just wait on Russ with your Sutton. And I'm seeing a lot of the same fucking teams like over and over again. Yep. And I think one way we can, I don't know, kind of like leverage that and stuff is go deeper on the player pool, but then going deeper on the player pool at the wide receiver position doesn't really excite me on this slate outside of KJ Hamler. Like shooting the moon with KJ Hamler as like kind of like that break the slate profile. That's kind of like the only one I like down there. Like I would rather do what Nez is saying and bet on a Joshua Kelly touchdown, bet on Eno being healthy or being in a trailing game streak. Like, because do we even know, is James Conner even the guy there anymore? Like Eno didn't play great this weekend, but he's serviceable and he's a good pass catcher. So I don't know. Like even if Conner comes back, right? Like maybe Eno still has a role there. I think Melvin Gordon, like this Q tag scaring a lot of people off. I think if he didn't have the Q tag, he'd be going in the second round every single time to the person who didn't draft either Eckler or Kamara. So long-winded way of saying that, like, I kind of like the narrative of all of these gross running backs, or not.
That's
all
what
of
I'm
these
saying.
running backs as less gross than the wide receiver options, because like, I don't want to touch AJ Green. I don't want to touch Greg Dortch. I said I like Hamler. DeAndre Carter, like I guess I get the narrative between him and Palmer, but even then I think you're just throwing darts, because I think that offense is just going to be like Mike Williams in that X role, and then 7 targets to Everett, and the rest goes to Eckler, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough decision, and I wished I had the answers for folks. But we had James in the chat mentioning Dulcich potentially coming back. That might have some merit.
Okay.
Might have to give Karain his flowers there. He's pumping those bags all summer. There's talks he might get activated, and Alberto being like completely phased out was not. I was betting against that. I thought that was all noise. I thought people were kind of overreacting, and then meanwhile here he is, just like no targets.
Yeah.
And 20. Dead. Like dead as dead gets, man.
He came back and played a couple more routes last week, or played a couple more snaps last week than the previous one when we had declared him dead. But then, like, our boy Sauerkraut, the Cody Main flag plant from a couple weeks back, when he in that ugly ass game where he got a very important first down for us. But Yeah, I don't know. He's questionable. He was limited in practice all 3 days with an ankle, I believe. So, I mean, even if he's good to go, is he the type of profile we're like wanting to bet on? Like, I know Russ has been targeting him and he's been utilized and he's kind of lined up at fullback once in a while, but it's not really something we want to hang our hat on. Give me fucking Taysom Hill instead, right? So bringing up that point, to me, the Greg Dolch point is less about Greg Dolch and more about I don't really want the Broncos tight end position. I don't know. That's where I lean on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've stayed away from that completely, and I've tried to lock up my Everett or Taysom Hill. So
yeah, I'm kind of warming up to the Ertz narrative now that with the Marquise out, with the back 10 plus targets, and where's that volume going to go? And then I imagine some of it goes to Hopkins. I imagine Rondale Moore plays a little bit more in the slot. Like he's basically been almost exclusively that underneath and slot participant, right? I don't know. I don't even know if he can play more. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of been his game since he's been playing football. Is that like he doesn't really run routes?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. 99. He played 99% of the snaps. He played more snaps than everybody, and that's sick. He's 2 yards down the field.
He's cool. Yeah, he's like I'm excited about him, but like he just like does not run real.
Kyler
routes.
missed him at least twice, on a decent route. So Kyler just seemed. I mean, there was times where it was off, and then
those two are a combined 10 feet tall. Like that is the most hilarious duo in football.
Yeah, the commentator is like a 5'9" quarterback throwing to a 5'7" wide receiver.
I love it, man. I love it.
God.
New game.
Yeah. I'm just pulling back up this just to clarify my previous stuff. Yeah, the Melvin being limited all week, I don't know what to make of it. It's the word neck obviously scares me, but I imagine he plays tonight.
And if he does play, revenge narrative, it's there.
Oh yeah, there you
Chargers,
go.
Yeah, he played the Chargers. Yep.
Never forget.
They didn't want to give him the
guaranteed.
Bag. They didn't they didn't want to give him the bag, right? And
I mean,
now he's coming back.
It was a good call, but
yeah. The thing with all of this though is even if you take these, I think this is my my pitch to take the Q tag backs is we think running back is deeper in quotations than a normal 4-game slate would be. And by that, I don't mean that they're very necessarily the greatest talents in the world behind these players. I just mean that the volume could exist for multiple players on all of these backfields, even Mark Ingram included. You know what I mean? So I think it incentivizes to take those Q tag players and then just swap to volume later. Because like if you get Melvin Gordon, like there's a chance that Mike Boone is going undrafted in a fractional percent of these drafts and you end up with a swap to Boone. Like that's the nuts, right? But there's also a chance that you could end up with a swap to James Conner, right? If it takes place tonight, James Conner goes undrafted because of a Q tag in one of these drafts. And then all of a sudden your Melvin swaps to Conner because you have Conner ranked the highest. And then Conner sits the following week and then your Conner swaps to Eno. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many of these possible paths to getting running back volume on this slate that I kind of think we can take two should be our mindset. I don't know.
Yeah. One thing I just want to throw out there just so I can say that we talked about it whenever it's a thorn in my side tonight is like Latavius Murray's probably going to be active tonight for the first time.
Yep.
They made him an acquisition whenever Javonte was down, didn't play last week. Probably going to play this week. I'm not sure that he's going to like play a ton over Boone. Like he could just be like in case of emergency, just like understanding their situation. But it's something that we have to be aware of. I'm not saying that he's like draftable. You can because he's not going to be taken a lot, and he's Latavius Murray. He's probably going to find his way in the end zone and piss us off. But from my if I'm playing favorites here, I still like Mike Boone. But that's
I think
definitely
Mike
something
Boone,
to be aware of.
Mike Boone clearly having the pass catching role on this team really matters. And if we paint them as, you know, they're 4-point dogs or 4.5-point dogs on the road, 5.5-point dogs on the road versus a team that we expect to put up numbers against them. If we paint that pass catching back narrative, like Boone's path to success might be better than, even Melvin Gordon's tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Crickets.
Yeah.
You guys don't like that take?
I was
Way to go, Chad.
Yeah, I was reading Chad here, who just got a Eckler Kamara as well. So
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, it's going to exist, right? And I think, to be honest, I think it might be my favorite build. It might be because I don't think you're sacrificing a ton by then getting down to Russ Judy on the way back, right? You're effectively,
Yeah.
you're going to end up with Russ Judy on the way back, because the person who took Herbert is going to take Mike Will, and then person who took, maybe Hopkins goes there, or one of the running backs goes, and then
Is this game really a 5.5 now for the spread? Or
I think it
6.5?
is. I think it's somewhere near there.
What's it at
4.5. I'm seeing 4.5 on Roto Grinders here. It depends where you look.
Yeah, I feel like the public is going to hammer Chargers, and that to me is is interesting. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just feels trappy. It feels trappy.
You hate to see it. Now your team sucks, Chad. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
AJ Hamler season it is.
That's good. No, those teams are nasty. What do you guys say we hop in 1 or 2 here? We're almost at that magic number.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Let's take a look and see. Dang, this thing is filling up. It's kind of hard to tell like what's a good number for Underdog for these lobbies.
Well, they did the 12K. So they did that 12K one, and they released it yesterday morning. Like they just released it, so like it just came out. I'm like, that's ambitious. Like you have all these contests to fill, plus the afternoon contest, and you just released that $5 like late one for 12, like for the increased prize pool and like contest size. I'm like, oof, and then it just overlaid heavy, and then they dropped it down to this 10K. So
yeah, that midday drop on Sunday is definitely tough. I'm sure they're probably gonna like take that back to the drawing board, just because the day of, while everyone's already like watching football, is like that's tough.
It's like the afternoon usually overlays. So like even that, like I don't know. But
I got a thought here. What do you guys prefer? Would you prefer, like Willis saying that the $5 3 max getting released like yesterday morning sucked? Would you guys prefer that they do what they do with like DeBomb early, where they were like, hey, we release one, it fills, then we release another, then it fills, then we release another? Or would you prefer that they have like these large size contests, risk the overlay, and then, you try and fill as many entries or max those ones? Like more or less, would you rather have like multiple max 3-mans, or would you rather have a max like, 9-man, nine entry? You know what I mean?
Who do you think you want? You want Kamara 102?
Yeah, I take I think for everything we're talking about with the running back thing, one thing we haven't touched on yet about the New Orleans situation is they have Dalton, here or whatever. I'm not so sure it's gonna be Dalton this week.
You think short week they'll bring Jameis?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird how like they're being really careful with him. Yeah. I mean, it's you could see it. We saw it with somebody played Teddy and a spy on DraftKings, which is like kind of crazy. So Herbert here, I think, like is a bit of a no-brainer.
I agree.
But to answer your question, I would much prefer having like the bomb, like all these sequels to those contests. Like that's really cool. I don't know how much that affects like goal line stand and the battle royales though. Like that might be why they don't do that, because it like it inevitably takes away volume, like from people like us to like piling into those like large guaranteed prize pools. I'm not sure. I feel like that's probably the reason why they don't do it. However, would love like multiple versions of those like 3 max single entry, however they did it. But I was okay with how they did it, releasing a game day yesterday, but I had time on my hands.
Numi, make a pick for me.
I gotta scroll up.
Ertz or Olave?
Yeah, Olave.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm kind of fine. I mean, this build doesn't set up well for the tight end for us now. Like if he takes Ertz here,
we're fine.
Because I guess you have Everett to stack.
We took Taysom. Yeah, but my point being with this specific build is I was pretty fine with the tight end. as long as it wasn't Taysom. Now that we have like the 2 New Orleans guys, I like this or this. Which do you prefer?
I think I'd go. I want to go Melvin. I don't know why.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, do Melvin.
I'm
I'm
lagging.
fine
You
with
might
it.
not hear me in time.
Can you scroll
Yeah.
down a little bit? Just
Yep.
Yeah,
on our squad.
On our squad, we don't have anything at the tight end.
Okay, perfect.
Here, I'll bring up the draft board to make it easier. Yeah, we started Kamara, Herbert, Olave, Melvin Gordon, and now, do you guys like Everett better in this build, or do you like Ertz better as a run back? It's an interesting question.
I kind of like. Yeah. Well, it's hopefully he doesn't take Everett too, because like
I
there's
didn't
really
think
nothing
Everett.
wrong.
I personally liked Everett, but
I think Ertz is gonna see like 10 targets like minimum this week.
Yeah,
Fair,
I kind of like that narrative too.
Jude, that's a nice pick with Judy.
Yeah, so I think we go ahead and do this, unless you guys don't think he'll go double tight end, and we can take. But I don't really see the incentive to take one of these other wide receivers.
For me, it's like kind of just lock it up, make sure, because like
I feel similar.
I'm willing to do it and be that guy and tap double tight end. So
right, yeah, likewise.
I would really obviously like to get Josh Palmer here, but
yeah, I agree with this. Ertz greater than Everett. The only narrative being like, is Everett better in the Herbert stacks than Ertz is? I think from like a raw projection and whatever standpoint. Yeah. Okay. Here's Silas saying that the Dalton thing expected to start again, but not certainty.
Shit.
Yeah, Palmer goes there. The Palmer double would have been nice. I lean Carter now, I guess, and just getting a double. Do you guys see differently?
If you want to scroll down just a little bit there, yeah,
KJ
probably. Galaxy Brain Greg Dortch would be my only other thing. Just like if he has to step in again, like how he was earlier in the season, but that's such a Galaxy Brain.
It's Galaxy Brain.
Okay, sure. I give one little possible Galaxy Brain, and we're in there. I love it. That's why you're my guy, John. But like not crazy, right? Like what if it's like if it's too much for Robbie to come back early, then just saying. Saying.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's out there. Yeah. See, this is so Chip's asking the same question. Silas saying it out here that like, is taking Jameis paying the rake? I don't know, because the interesting thing is there's a chance that Jameis is active again this weekend. Well, like he was this week, right? Like emergency quarterback active, but not playing. And then you're paying the rake because you're taking a 0 at the quarterback position. But if we expect him to be inactive and then you just get the swap to Dalton anyways, like, I don't know. Like, I think there's some merit there. So maybe the play is to take Dalton and then swap to Jameis if Dalton's out.
Yeah, I don't know how the swaps work if they're active and they're not starting, though. I feel like I say this a lot, and I think it actually knew me. Do you know that if there's an answer to that? Like, if you take Dalton and he's not the starter, will you get a swap? Did we ever get an answer on that? Do you know?
Okay. I don't know.
I'd
like to think they swap it, but
well, the great debate of 2022 was the Bates.
And that's
John Bates.
That's what I'm referring
swap,
to. But for pitcher, so it's for pitcher, I asked the same thing because we didn't have.
I feel what Willis is saying here is that they have to get the out designation, and starting pitcher is very different than football. Football, if you're active, you don't get the out. Like in baseball, Charlie Morton was no longer pitching on Tuesday or whatever it was. He gets the out designation. You get to swap to Strider. Yeah, and so I was saying the same thing. You have to be designated inactive. If you're a backup, you do not get swapped.
Exactly. So like that's my thing. It's like, to confirm it, like we saw it happen with the Bates situation. So it's the same thing.
I mean, I think that's very different. But yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever. Who cares? The fact that you think Bates should get swapped is
no, I do not.
Not you.
Yeah,
I mean, the collective. if that opinion exists.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is because he was there and it was not designated inactive, so it'd be the same thing for Andy Dalton. If he's going to be the backup, he's going to be active.
Look at this flex. Don't think it swaps because I took Bridgewater early this week and then tried to swap, but Bridgewater worked out. You love to see it. That's
What the
great.
hell?
I would love
You
if that
absolute
team cashed.
savant.
I hope that team cashed. I hope it was a Teddy Bridgewater double with Hill and Waddle. That is nice, all the way nice. I
Love it.
respect the shit out of that. Saz, I'm out here doing the Lord's work for you, buddy. Like I'm writing this right up verbally right now, and you're just gonna type it away, scribe it away, like scribe it away for me, put it on the site. You guys want to run one
Shout
more?
out. Yeah. I got time for one more.
All right.
Oh baby, I'm looking right now. Next week or this coming
121.
week.
That's pretty good. 121
That's a good
for that
score.
team. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably better than I scored all week. Another
Got the
full badge room. Great stuff.
Nice. There we go. Lions at Dallas Cowboys this week. Maybe I go see some fireworks. I think that can be a pretty fun little game.
Lions and who? Sorry, say that again.
Dallas, the Cowboys.
With Dak back.
Yeah. That could be fun.
That could be fun. Yeah, love to see that.
Let's see. We got boots on the ground from Chip saying that he went with Freezer.
Just did one with Freezer, and he took Kyler third after Kamara, and yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, you always this is Chip being dialed in on the games, right? Like you always look and you always pay attention. That's like we've said it in the past. So don't be dismissive of other people's. You don't know what their portfolio looks like. You don't know what they've been building. You don't know what their projections look like. And just take note, right? I mean, very well could be that he'd been taking Herbert all morning and he has 100 Herbert teams and now he has to deviate. Or it could be that his ceiling projection is higher and he likes that play more, right? Like it's just, yeah.
We're on the clock here. Are we going to follow his footsteps? I think that there's some merit to thinking like Kyler over Herbert, just because like the Broncos defense could be legit, but projections don't seem scared of that at all.
I like this. When this is available to me, I think I like it more.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing the Kyler thing. You're instantly going to get unique with the Kyler thing because this is how every draft goes, right? It goes Eckler, Kamara, and then these two. Anytime you got badges in the room, that's how the draft goes right there. And yes, I just did exactly what everyone wanted me to do again right there. But I don't see a better path to ceiling on this slate other than maybe naked Kyler. But I personally don't see a better path than Hurts plus Williams or Kamara plus Eckler. I think those are the two premium stacks to start, and it's very hard to get the Eckler plus whatever. That's my opinion. I don't know what the shit do I know. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about getting a little weird right here and doing this one?
I definitely want Ertz.
Okay, I like it. Then it's not even that weird.
Yeah.
What about Ertz Olave with like the little mini there, and then worry about running back later?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of starting out like that. Numi, do you have any objections before we move forward?
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. No, I love Chris Olave. He's just
so hard not to.
Yeah, he's great, dude. I was low key a little higher on him than Garrett Wilson before the drafts.
All right. Place, nobody cares about your takes or your lineups there.
That's not true.
Actually, that's what we're here for. That's
sorry. Oh yeah.
Not his teams. We don't give a shit about his teams. We can
the teams. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You'll learn.
Someday, young Padawan. I'll learn.
Funny.
I don't. Oh, man. I would really.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Little. I thought that was bully tight end.
Yeah, same, dude. I really wanted to go bully tight end here. I really like that.
The Taysom. I mean, the Taysom's getting pushed up now. Like the Taysom stuff was happening. Where he was, in the last round, and now he's becoming the second tight end off the board.
Yeah, there's a lot of Juwan Johnson going early though. So and this contest we have to remember this contest is now 50%, if not more full. So
it's like way past 50
60%. So it just flipped really. Like this hasn't been a lot. There's gonna be a lot of Juwan Johnson, I feel like.
What do you guys think about doing this?
Yeah.
Twist my rubber arm, I say.
I love that. I mean, I just think that if both these players didn't have the Q tags, they would be second round picks. Mike Boone would not be going ahead of them.
Yep.
And I think Melvin Gordon just as a run back in this build, you're painting the narrative of them passing, and then you go, Gordon scores 1 or 2 on the ground. And then the James Conner narrative is just like, hey, they got no pass catchers this week. Maybe it's just that tight end running back kind of game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of really like this team. This team turned out
that
real
makes perfect
nice.
sense.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be overly unique, but just from like a raw projection standpoint, I think this team would be like pretty nutted, like in terms of.
It's good to have these type of teams in your portfolio. I think if you're like when you're drafting, like if those
good
running
ones?
backs,
You mean?
yeah.
You mean
like
I
your
don't
best
want to be
plays,
drafting
man.
just the worst plays over and over?
Well,
I mean, sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we did just take Greg Dortch or whatever.
well, I mean, getting there's nicer ways to say it. You could say you're getting unique.
Yes.
That's
getting
that's
unique
that's
is
our,
the
that's our
get out of jail free card. Yeah,
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So yeah.
All right, you guys want to do one more? Let's do one more.
Yeah, I got one more
Last
in me.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 minutes. They're 5 minutes. We got it.
SpongeBob boys, 5 hours later. Hey, you guys want to do one more? Hey, how about just one more? Want to just max this out? We just need one more, guys. Come on, anybody? One more?
Yeah,
Just
help
one
us
more?
fill these lobbies. Help us fill these lobbies.
Come on, man. I just need one Eckler Camaro stack. That's
Yeah.
what I tell myself half the time. I'm like chasing some stack that I can only get if my name is John or Numi.
I don't know how. And the fact that I got Sutton with it, like it's just.
Yeah,
It's a perk.
I got a good feeling about this one. Ertz, I think this guy's gonna go a little rogue at the first pick. He's gonna take Kyler, and then the second pick, he's gonna go. I don't want to be hung out to dry with just getting that Russell Wilson or that Dalton. I should just lock up Herbert right now, and then we're gonna get the double running back start. That's what's happening right here. Manifest it, motherfuckers.
He's got that purple. He's got that purple background for a reason because he's going purple. Pick one.
Oh,
that's why.
Paint it purple with the purple background.
Yeah,
Obvious strategy call. Obvious.
Let's go, Marquise. What you got for us?
Paint it. Say that 5 times in a row. Paint it purple with a purple background.
Paint it purple with purple background.
You're gonna break your brand new mic with all that.
Yeah.
All this peas in there. the pop filter is just gonna give up.
I hope not. That would be unfortunate.
That thing's sexy.
Ooh wee.
Wow. I told you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
That would have been fun.
I tried my best.
So,
what do you like?
Kamara's got to be one of them, right?
Kamara, and then honestly, do we?
You want to go Mike Williams?
Kamara and Herbert would just seem weird, like just unique off the bat to me. But you can do Mike Will. You don't have to do because I'm okay. Because I'm fine with Russ. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm fine with Russ too.
Yeah, the whole quarterback.
I'm also rubbing the narrative of if we have a Kamara team, kind of taking a Dalton is a little fun too, but it gets kind of weird.
No, that's definitely, and it's tough.
Kamara, Olave, Dalton.
It's easy because like when you don't get the first 2 quarterbacks, whatever it is, it's like, okay, I get Russ. Like I know it sucks, but let's just hope. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like a big tier drop off. Like you're going from like Andy Dalton and then someone else is just the same, like Andy Dalton and Cooper Rush or something like that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This guy has to take Ertz, man. He has to take Ertz. He can't get hung out at the tight end position. You can't get hung out at the tight end.
He's milking it. Now he's just milking it. They do this.
Yeah,
they do
motherfucker. Yeah, a little unnecessary sweat, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I like Ertz as the run back here.
Is this the bully tight end build?
And do it with Everett, and do that, or you want Taysom as well?
No,
I want that. I want that Everett wearing that sweet number 7 on his big jersey. That's what I want.
I'm about it. Yeah, if you want to do that, it's nice to do it with Herbert because it's correlated, right? I'd prefer it in that setting.
Yeah.
I do think there's a chance that running back, we can get one of the Denver players coming back anyways.
We need 2 wideouts.
Oh, right. If we do
I completely boxed you out of there. So
we need Olave if we want.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get weird.
Yep. So we're most likely, I'm assuming.
It's only fucking money, guys.
So here's what I think. We get a that Josh Palmer, hopefully, and then we run it back with KJ Hamler.
Oh, is it the week?
Oh, I like that a lot, Numi. Yeah,
And
I
we
mean
just
we're
hope we just
not
hope
getting
that.
duped
Well,
here.
we have to
Don't
get them
dupe
because
me.
they have 3 wideouts and they need so we got them. There we go. We're good.
Yeah, we're not getting duped here on this build. No one's dumb enough to try this. No one's dumb enough to
KJ
light
Hamler,
up.
this is outstanding.
Don't tweet us
light
with your
$5.
lineups like, okay, well, this can be like a 5-way dupe with us and our best friends here.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
this is
actually,
the winner.
speaking of that, Nez, congrats on the MLB one there the other day. You weren't on the show. I gave you a shout, but congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Love me and like 5 of my closest friends splitting those top prizes, but we'll take it.
You go have beers after with them too, or what?
Yeah, virtual beers.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, this one was kind of weird. I think we're seeing a very consistent pattern and trend with the front end of these draft boards, and it's kind of now without Marquise Brown. I thought this was a really fun slate to draft when Marquise Brown was in there, and then the running backs and stuff. But more to our point of the running back position is how both of these teams that anchor on the Eckler and Kamara. Shit, I lost it. But those teams that anchor on Kamara and Eckler, they're hesitant to take a second running back, and they pound the pass catchers or they take tight end early or whatever. Because we almost saw a draft there. I'm not sure because we missed the last pick. Here, I'll look on my phone for the good of the brand.
You got the push notification still there. That's the cheat code. You got to save it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how the draft finished: Russell Wilson, and then Marquez Callaway. So there were 3 running backs drafted in that draft, and they were Mike Boone, Austin Eckler, and Alvin Kamara. Whoa. James Conner and Melvin Gordon going undrafted.
Yeah, and
right.
That's why, to my point, when I was talking Eno, you're like, I've seen him go a couple times. I'm like, I haven't seen him go once, like one time. Like I've been watching each time. I'm just like, huh, that's just interesting. You know what I mean?
This for me is a double running back. I don't know. If you're going to let Melvin Gordon slip there, I'd way rather have Melvin Gordon than Joshua Palmer in a vacuum.
100%.
So like, right?
100%.
It's kind of like maybe we shelf the bully tight end on these ones, and we're just trying to go double running back on all of them. And then because the only time I'm seeing double running back is primarily if someone gets that Eckler Kamara, and then other people get scared into now I got to take 2. I don't know.
It's either bully tight end or double running back, and just keep your wide receivers to 2. Like that's kind of the play. And I will advocate. I do like that running back still, like more so, you know. But yeah, my portfolio will definitely be more so of that. So.
Yeah, Mike brings up a really good point that we got to do another draft just because the odds are in our favor right now, you know? Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
You got some wheel spinning for me. I got some builds now.
Okay.
All right there.
Hopefully we got the wheels spinning for everybody. Gentlemen, another nice stream here. Good luck tonight. Tomorrow we have Mark for sure. And then I'm going to follow up with DJ Mitchell after this. We might talk a little puck tomorrow.
We just have a little bit of breaking news though.
What do you got?
Carson Wentz is out at least 4 to 6 weeks.
Here comes Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Heineke season, I guess. Or they got Sam Howell.
That'll be Heineke. I think it's gonna be Heineke.
Dude, the crazy thing about Sam Howell is like, is it Howell? How you say it? The kid from UNC.
Right?
Yeah. The thing about him is he was a very like highly touted potentially 101 prospect. Then had a really bad year and fell in the draft, right? Yeah. Okay. You know what? All right.
My stomach is rumbling, but for God's sake, man, if they're calling for it, fuck it,
the people are calling for it. Draft now. One more.
All right.
This is going to be the winner too. We're going to get Eckler, Kamara, and Herbert.
It's going to be like pushovers, man. Unbelievable. This has to be the one though.
One more draft. One more draft.
Whose lead is just out here just.
Dude, he's in the Spike Week Discord. At least I need to add up. Hold on. That's what I meant to do actually.
Lee is praying and spraying right now.
I need to see if it's the same guy before I.
That's right. Never say Never
Lee
say we didn't.
won-
John didn't do nothing
Oh,
for you
yep,
guys.
it's the same. It's the same, man. Man of the people.
John,
Yeah.
it was always one more. Always.
It was always one more. We knew it deep down. Okay, Kyler's going first overall here because he's chasing that ceiling. We're going Eckler. Then on the turn, Lee's looking at his portfolio and he's going, oh man, I honestly, I just don't have enough Herbert plus Williams. I don't have enough Herbert. And then boom,
he's got his HUD.
Kamara.
He's got his own HUD up, and he's got everything going with his different screens. Yeah, Lee's looking to be one of these grinders right now.
Damn straight.
I was expecting to see Freezer, this lurking, just jumps in this next one with us.
Yeah,
I saw
Freezer's waiting
a
for
chat
the
or a
news.
comment here that I don't know if we touched on. I'll try and scroll back and find it.
Herbert.
I mean,
Okay.
it's got to be Eckler, right?
Yeah.
We haven't.
Eckler's my 101.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I did see that too. It was Chip basically saying like what you would set. Like, would you rather like
Oh,
take down a tournament or get to interview our boy?
I gotta find it.
All right, so
keep going.
Since we know we have to go Russ, I guess
Yeah.
you get to run back, man. That's cool.
I don't know. I do this, and then I would rather do like Judy or something.
I think it could be unique.
Just going with Mike, Will, and Eckler.
Yeah, and then like obviously like Russ, like even if we don't get a stacking partner for Russ, like there's still a lot of correlation that we just like told ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. This one's I would direct this straight to John.
What is this?
Would you rather bank a contest this week or get an hour interview with Freezer? And I think we know his answer.
Do you want to go?
It depends which contest. Like a 1K contest, I would rather hang with Freezer.
Yeah, we're up.
I think Judy, right?
Yeah, I think Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just think like when you have Russ and the other guy has no wide receivers, and
yep,
I think Judy as the run back plus the Russ stack just makes way too much sense.
Oh boy, is he gonna go?
And now I like it because we can just stop at these two wideouts. Like, and we got two good. I mean, good wideouts. I mean, if we just
think I really like this and taking this first.
Yep.
Yeah. Since we've seen James Conner go undrafted here.
Go undrafted. So I think getting like a little Taysom plus Connor and then having Russ to fall back on. I really like how this team's shaped up. Very different than our other teams. But like Eckler plus Mike Will is probably not as rare as we think it is, but I think it's like a little rare because the way the draft board tends to go is the only way that this can happen is if Kyler goes first or Kamara goes first.
Boone. All right. Well,
people are really on this Mike Boone.
What is? Am I missing something right now with Gordon? Do I need to look this up even further?
I don't know. Just that limited practice and people are scared off. I don't know. Maybe we're fish for thinking Gordon is definitively going to play.
I don't think. Yeah, I guess I'm not saying definitive. I just don't think he's. You know what I mean? I don't think he's definitively out. I guess per se is.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. It's basically the underdog version of that Jay-Z dinner question.
100K or with Jay-Z.
Yeah. I think it's different though. The Jay-Z one, I would take the dinner with Jay-Z because of the potential that like that relationship could create.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
Not financial advice.
It's also relative to your own personal finance for sure.
No, let's just say this, that like with the connections that you've made and that you've brought onto the show, like you have dinner with Jay-Z and he's like a new co-host every week, like after you talk with him, bro. So you know what? You're right.
Yeah, we're going Pat Carane to Pete to Jay-Z.
The pipeline is crazy.
Yeah, we're just gonna get a chat, boys, and we're just gonna see a Jay-Z gif. We're gonna be like, what?
It's gonna be me and Jay-Z ripping drafts. Let's go. Yeah. You know, Jay-Z, there's no way Jay-Z would go for bully tight end. Jay-Z wants no smoke with bully tight end. He doesn't know what it's about.
No, it's just going for them alpha plays only, you know?
Yeah, alpha plays only. I love that. All right, that was the last one. It's so fun. It's so easy to keep ripping these, and I really want to get that Kamara and Eckler one, but Actually, this dog is super chill today. He hasn't really interrupted at all. He's literally upside down.
Only thing
Everybody-
interrupting is Nez's stomach right now, apparently.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm hungry
I'm
too.
eating myself. Yeah, but yeah, I think he's got a case of the Mondays. It's all good.
Yeah, he's upside down boy right now. All right, good luck to everyone tonight. Thank you so much for being here,
Yes.
hanging out with us.
Yes.
Appreciate the kind words from Willis right here. Awesome streak. Great rest of
Yeah,
the day
appreciate
for
you,
you as
Willis.
well. Yeah, good luck everyone tonight. Keep drafting those Taysom Hill as the third tight end. I think it's probably going to be good.
Let's get someone in that winner circle, huh? Tonight.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
See
Okay,
let's
let's
see
extend it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's extend it. If
What's any
someone
day,
tonight-
really? It's just any
if
day
someone
someone takes
tonight
it down.
wins
yeah.
it. No, okay, we can't get crazy. This is a prestige program here.
Well,
Newbie.
10K.
We gotta
10K and up. Prize pool
Okay.
tip. You win 10K and up. You're in.
10K and up. Winner circle is extended. It doesn't have to be the 50K. It's 10K and up now. That's the new one. I like that.
We're getting desperate. We need you to come on the winning circle, baby. Come on.
Hey, but speaking of winner circle, we're gonna have. Hopefully, I'm gonna reach out again to DJ Mitchell. He's like one of the sharpest hockey guys. Maybe not a full stream. Maybe time permitting, rip his mind for like half an hour, and then do a couple drafts together. But then we'll still have Mark tomorrow to do the way too early slate preview stuff for football, and then Chris Spags from Splash Play is going to be with us on Wednesday for sure, and then trying to find in. Hopefully a couple more irons in the fire here, boys. But a couple more irons in the fire. But some people from last week we're gonna try and reschedule for this week. So that's it. I mean, I'm starving too. Nez is starving. Let's get out of here. Everybody's favorite. And Mr. Good Boy is back.
Yeah,
right on
let's go,
cue.
Tuck.
All right, Tuck, it's park time. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end.